Hey, hi everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, I think so. I'm in the land of like graduation world with my kids. But Amber asked me to help open up and welcome everybody. So I thought I would do that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Allie. I live in Florida. I am a wife and a mom of four and soon to be a grandma. So that's crazy. But I just thought I'd share a little bit of my ketone story. I started drinking ketones just a little over a year ago. And before drinking them, I was pretty miserable. I had like a really good life in terms of like I had this great family and whatever, but I just was kind of lost in myself. I gained a lot of weight through COVID. We were eating like unsupervised middle schoolers, and I can say that because we had some of them here. They were supervised though. And I had just put on a lot of weight. I was miserable in who I was. And I saw Amber dancing around on social media. And I was like, hey, so let's talk about this. And that's how I started drinking ketones. And since drinking them, not only have I lost 75 pounds, I've just really found my like happy place. I'm showing up as a better wife and a better mom. And I have more energy to do the things. I used to get out of bed and I would just like ache just in that first step as soon as my feet hit the floor. And now I don't have that at all. I can pop out of bed and just get going with my day and deal with whatever chaos comes my way. So, but that's a little bit about me. So I hope you guys all are having a good start to your week, and I will turn it over to Amber.
Thank you, Allie. You look so young to be a grandma. It's crazy to me when you say that because I don't think of grandma when I look at you. So, but that's exciting. I appreciate you opening up and sharing your journey. It's very inspiring. And I know you've inspired a lot of people and helped a lot of people as well start their journey. So I appreciate you and the work that you're doing. So we have a few different things that we wanted to talk about tonight. Jody has been sick, but she's on tonight and she's going to share some really cool action steps that we can take in our business. And Susan is going to talk a little bit about doing vendor booths. She has done quite a few vendor booths and also listen to different classes and trying to collect tips. So she's going to share some do's and don'ts with in-person vendor booths. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about DMOs, which is daily method of operation, and kind of tell you what my process is. But let's kick it off. Jody, do you mind going first? Okay.
Not at all. Someone was trying to get in though in your chat, in your team chat.
Okay.
So put the maybe number of the Zoom thing in there, the link. Hi guys, what's up? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. It felt like Monday to me. I was confused all day. That and all the fluid in my ears. It's been like, Those who don't know me, I'm Jody. I live in San Diego. I've been drinking and sharing ketones for over 6 years. Absolutely love this community, you guys, this team, and our product. And when Amber and I were kind of chatting about what to kind of talk about and share, she said something about doing reach outs. And it's funny because I think sometimes, can anybody relate and just kind of maybe put in the chat or nod your head? I love that all your cameras are on pretty much. That sometimes when you get into something and you've been doing it for a long time, you forget like the things that worked in the very beginning and you kind of get into a routine of doing other things. I think Heather can relate to, like, we start doing things and then we really think back like what really worked. And I think a lot of us, as we've been going on, are getting like really much better at social media, right? Like I see so much growth just in myself personally in social media. And I see all of you like posting on social media and stuff, but like one of the things that launched, and I don't want to say just launched, one of the things that how I hit rank 8 was not social media. Social media is like this, it's amazing. And I'm not saying it's not, but it's a kind of like a supporting product. Like you post and then you're praying the algorithm shows your things. Does that make sense? Like Amber could put the most amazing content up, but if the people aren't seeing it, she's literally going, what's wrong with me or my product that people aren't buying it? And it has nothing to do with her or the product. It has to do with Facebook algorithms or Instagram algorithms changed. And social media is very important. Like I definitely like, let's keep growing it and let's keep doing it. And I do it every single day. But the further I got into that, kind of took me away from what I did before I had social media. So I think I'm kind of an expert to talk about reach outs, because it's literally what I did for the first 12 months of my business before I got any business from social media. Does that make sense? And when I say social media, I can mean like any other way too, even like vendor tables and groups. You're still kind of like, we call it post and pray on social media. You're setting up and praying someone's going to walk by your vendor group, right? So you're still like trying to attract in. And we have that simple model of ACE: attract, connect, enroll. And you get to choose how you attract. And I love vendor groups. I love social media. I love TikTok. I love Facebook. But if you want to move your business faster, it's direct reach outs, because it's not posting and praying. It's not setting up a table hoping someone stops by and tries your ketones. It's not entering an online vendor group hoping someone like kind of responds to your post, or it hits them at the right time. When I say direct reach out,
we love thick cut.
Make this really clear. I'm not talking about spamming cold market people. Like I wish I could find it, but it's probably 500 messages deep. I got a text or a message on Messenger just this week, and the lady's like, I'm assuming it was new skin tanning. She's like, hey, I don't even know this girl. Like, I don't know the girl. And she said, hey, would you mind putting a Facebook post up, talking about our tanning products? Don't worry. It says in the post that you haven't tried it yet, but you heard it's amazing. That's what is the message said. Amber's laughing. And you know what? If it gets traction, I'll send you a free tube. Something like that. And it takes everything in me not to become a complete B word when I get that kind of message, because I hate it. It's what gives our industry a icky feeling and bad name. And that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was probably new skin. When I say reach outs, I'm not talking about, let me make this very clear, you going, oh, this person looks like they would be amazing. Let me send them a reach out. Now, there is a time and a place for that, and I can teach you how to do that with relationships and questions. But reach outs are really, really awesome. And this is what a reach out looks like. For those of you who are at the Vegas mastermind, Heather, were you in that kind of group? So I kind of did a breakout session about it. How many of you have ever picked up your phone, or maybe set 5 minutes a day? By the way, I'm giving you a pro tip here. Set a timer, do it 5 minutes a day. And all you're going to do is do a reach out where you go through, and you're going to start with the people that are safe, right? Like, we don't care what people say back. That's not the point of this exercise, but I understand. And I myself started with safe people. And when I say safe people, if you and your family and your friends were all on a cruise ship and it's taken on water, and you only got, 20 life vests, who do you throw the life vest to first? It's probably your family, right? Maybe your best friend. And then after your best friend, it's your, I don't know, your mentors, your people in your circle. So when I started reaching out, I started with my safe space. And some of us may have already done that, and that's okay. So we're going to have to get a little bit comfortable getting a little uncomfortable, and I'll talk about how to do that too. But essentially, a reach out is just sending someone a question. So how many of you have tried this? Because I'd like to hear in the chat if this worked. A reach out that I did, and I didn't do it to one person. I did to a lot of people because I bought that big promoter pack and I knew I had to flip the trials. So unbeknownst to me, I was put into a fury of activity because I had no money to pay the credit card bill. And that activity turned out to be something I forget to keep teaching and sometimes forget to keep doing. So that activity looked a lot like this. Like, hey, Susie, gosh, maybe you're not in your safe circle anymore. I've talked to a lot of people, right? Hey, Susie, long time no talk. I saw you went to Hawaii last week. That looked amazing. Oh, my Siri is picking up Susie's computer. So notice how I lead it with like relational. Hey, Amber, that TikTok with you and John was hilarious last week. I can totally relate to Friday night without kids at home or whatever, right? Hey, I have a random question to ask you. Have you ever heard of drinking ketones? You okay, Bubba? Sorry, my dog looks like he's diabetic and sometimes he walks sideways. Have you ever heard of drinking ketones? Or have you tried drinking ketones yet? Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever sent a message like this to someone. I'm kind of hoping some of you haven't, because it can, and if you have, I'm kind of hoping I can get you to up that activity. So when you send the reach out, you don't wait for them to answer. There you go, Susan. Do you know that one of my kids' teachers, she taught all 3 of my children in elementary school. She was my Facebook friend. Never once saw a post of me about Prove It, about ketones, about earning a car, about traveling for over 12 months. I just want to tell you that. Like, I hope that sits. She never saw anything on social media. And it wasn't until another friend of hers, thankfully under me, reached out to her. And then when I got connected, I'm like, have you not seen what I've been doing, Sue, for like a year? And she's like, no, like it's never come up. I've never seen any of your Facebook stuff. And we're Facebook friends. So this like really like hit home. I was like, oh man, the reach, I should have texted her. So when I do reach outs, and if you just add this one DMO, and we might talk about DMOs, just things you do every single day, like to move your business forward. Like, for example, some DMOs in your life probably are brushing your teeth, right? You just do it every single day. It gets done, right? So a DMO that you could add to your list, and you should, is reach outs. You can either set a number to do something that's attainable for you. You can always up it, right? Say it's 5. Or what I'm a big fan of is setting not the number of reach outs, but the time. So if you set like a timer, and we all have 5 minutes to do this, and just send that message. Hey, Brenda, random question. By the way, your trip looked awesome. Can you tell me more about it? Like, that looks so cool. Like go out with some relationship, you know, like, but literally this was the reach out I did over and over and over that sold 1,000 trial packs my first month. Same reach out, same message. Hey, random question. It's gonna sound weird, but have you ever heard of drinking ketones? And then let that hang, meaning if they start messaging you back, don't answer. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm saying because if you answer and start having that conversation, pretty soon that 5 or 10 minutes you had to build your business, you talk to one person. But if you set the timer for 5 or 10 minutes and you just say, I'm just going to send the question, you probably are going to get 10 of them out or 20 of them out. Does that make sense? And then the next 5 or 10 minutes you have to work your business, all you're going to do is work on the responding to the reach out, like the people who have messaged you back or hitting the people who haven't. So, and this can be interactive. If you have a question, like raise your hand, we'll come off mute and talk. So a reach out just means you're not waiting for someone to come to you. You are coming to them. And it's pretty crazy because everyone will know about drinking ketones and you want to be the person to tell them before anyone else. You don't want to hope, pray, post, pray, algorithm, fingers crossed that someone's going to see it. That's all part of our businesses, and that is stuff you should continue to do because you never know who sees a post, but you also never know who doesn't. So the direct reach outs are super, super powerful. And it's what Keisha and I used to do, like Amber, like it made me think today, like in the first year of our business, we would get people in a room because we had a big local team at the time. And all we did were reach outs. Like if you guys wanted to do an action Zoom where all we do are reach out. So if you got a response, I would tell you not to respond in the 5 minutes we're reaching out, but the next 5 minutes, I would help you on how to respond. We can do that too. And I know it's scary, but I promise you a reach out like, hey, like you came to mind and I have a super random question. Have you ever heard of drinking ketones? Like that's not weird. That's not spammy. It's not make a post about my tanner. I know, don't worry. I know you haven't tried it. The post says you haven't tried it. And I'll like, that's weird. Like, and I said so to her kind of nicely, not so nicely. Then I asked her if she tried drinking ketones, but anyway, so like, don't be, it's not about like how many people respond. It's literally about the activity. If that makes sense. Like if you've completed that DMO, if you've done the reach outs, and if you haven't been doing this consistently, and it's just one thing for 5 minutes a day you can add, it will move your business forward. In 60 days, you'll have a different business. I promise you. So if anyone has any questions about that, because there's so many different reach outs we could do. We could reach out about business, we could reach out about the product, but I'm talking about reaching out really just with that one question. But let me know if you have any questions, or Amber, is there any loops I need to fill?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to your comment about social media. Specifically, when I was at the Las Vegas event that Michael had a few months ago, I had 3 different people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, I've been following you on TikTok for so long. I had no idea that you even did ketones." So here they are, they've signed up with somebody else, probably a friend, an in-person connection, but they'd been following me for so long, but they never even saw any of my content about ketones, or they would have signed up with me. So I think it really showed me the power of like that connection. I just also missed somebody that is selling happy juice now, and she's crushing it on social media. I had sent her ketones. I didn't really know her. I kind of met her online, and she started selling happy juice. And I asked her, why didn't she do ketones? And she said, "Oh, it's my friend. It's my friend who got me to do the happy juice, and I love it." So things just keep happening where I am really feeling like that disconnect on social media, and reaching out to people and having that personal connection goes way farther than somebody just following you on social media.
No, that's a huge, great lesson. And Heather asked, when you respond, do you send the video? So you've all heard of ACE, like attract, connect, enroll. Well, Katrina and I kind of, before ACE was a thing, we broke it into 4 different steps, and we called it the 4 steps. And I'm happy to send those to Amber, and she can post those in her team chat or edit them appropriately, or maybe make a flyer. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. ACE is still 4 steps. I just break it up into one extra one. And it's what we were doing before Prove It said, hey, this is our system, attract, connect, enroll. So it's pretty cool. It's super aligned. And it's a very simple like response that gets customized to you in different areas. And I'm a big fan of dropping the question, by the way. Have you heard of drinking ketones, or are you drinking ketones yet? Without following it up right away. Like, I don't say, are you drinking ketones yet? Here's a 4-minute video that explains it better, because then I lose the opportunity to come back with more info. If I left the question hanging, then I've got the perfect opportunity to go to step 2. Step 1's the reach out, by the way. I'm teaching you step 1. I'm teaching you an extra step in ACE. It's a direct reach out. It's step 1. Step 2 goes basically, okay, we've already bypassed the attract. Now we get to connect. Oh my gosh, you haven't tried these yet? You got to check out this short 4-minute video. It explains it better. I no longer drink 10 cups of coffee every day. I'm down 7 inches. I freaking feel amazing. Like, hit me back when you watch this. Like, so I have it broken up into steps, so I can send Amber that. And it works. I know it's how Katrina built her business. We were not big on, there was no TikTok when we launched. Neither of us were big on social media. And here's the thing. Keisha was big on social media. When she joined the team and she said yes, she was like already doing dances on Facebook. Like, Amber, she was doing her beach body, like workouts, like in like hyper speed. And she was super cute. And, she's like 10 years younger than me. And like, she had this social media following, but 100% how she went fast was not because she had the social media thing. It was because she got very good at these reach outs. Very good. And she didn't wait for someone to find something, see something, hear it from somebody else. You never want to wait, because I was just on the phone with my sister earlier. One of her best friends is Improve It on another line. She never told her, like my sister never told her when she was in with me. And this girl does really well. Every time we talk about her, I didn't teach my sister well enough to do the reach outs, right? Like, so anyway, it's a lesson. Just do the reach outs. If you're not doing them, then I hope this was of value to you. And if you get scared about doing them, then, you know, like we can do them together on a Zoom, like we were in person or something.
Awesome. I'm excited. Maybe we could do that next Tuesday on our call, or should we do a separate call for that, for an action hour?
Totally up to you guys.
Okay. I'll put that in the chat and see what kind of feedback I get. But I think that would be a really powerful thing if we all just sat here together and just like set a goal and just started reaching out with people. And then if you can, I mean, we could kick the call off with what language to use and the 4-step process. I'm excited to learn that. Okay, so I did have a few announcements, and then we'll have Susan talk about vendor booths. The monthly calendar came out for the legendary group, which is anyone on Michael Rutherford's team, which is us. And so in the month of June, huddle calls are now going to be Monday and Wednesday morning. So before it was Monday through Thursday morning. So Monday is going to be more of like community-based, how to grow your network, more of like mindset stuff. And then Wednesday is going to be more of an action hour, putting those concepts into activity. So, and then on the guest call is going to be moved to Wednesday night. I'll drop the calendar in the chat. So we've been having them on Thursday night. We're going to move those to Wednesday night. And then also, they're adding 2 what they're calling customer Zooms, or maximize your ketones Zooms. And those are going to be on Monday. There's the 2 middle Mondays of the month. And you can invite all your customers and promoters to it. And it's just going to be people that really know the product well, all of the products, talking about like the difference in the products, how they work, a little bit of science behind them. So since I've been here in the last couple of years, I haven't seen a call like that. So I'm super excited to see that happen and be able to plug people into it, because I think that's definitely something I am not skilled at. And so if I can plug our customers and our community into that, that would be powerful. So Susan, I will throw a few minutes over to you. If you want to share with us all of your knowledge, we would love that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. For those of you that don't know me, I am Susan Fenwick. I live in Washington State, pretty close to Amy. Is Amy on? I didn't see her on. In the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful here. I've been drinking and sharing ketones for a little over 2 years, 2 years ago in February. And what they've done for me, I don't even talk about the physical aspect of what ketones have done for me, because of how much they've shifted my life in all of the other major ways, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, learning, growing, meeting all kinds of new people, and just having a blast. So I pretty much just focus on that now, and forget about the 70 pounds of fat that I lost, and forget about the fact that I have energy all day long now. And I don't want to sleep on the couch all day, and I can play with my grandkids, and you know what I mean? I forget about all that. And I just love like what we're doing right here. And I love so much about what Amber and Jody just said. We're talking about connections. Oh, sorry, I have beagles. They might bark. Sorry. They're talking about the connection. And the reason why I got excited about it is because when you decide, and for me, it was that part of that getting comfortable with being uncomfortable thing to do a vendor booth. But when you decide to do that, the excitement comes from not all the knowledge that I have and the tips and the tricks and the do's and the don'ts, but bottom line, you're gonna have new conversations. Period. It's like inevitable. And there's nothing more exciting than having new conversations with people, because that's what helps you grow your business. That's what helps you share the product with people. And so they're like, you're not having to sit down. And I love the idea of reach outs. I don't do them nearly enough. I've heard Jody talk about them. I've heard her teach on them and train on them. And I've done them before and have been shocked at how well they worked. And then go right back to my social media world. So I don't know what's wrong with me there, but having the connection and building the relationship with people is what's so exciting about doing the vendor booths. And so I'm just going to talk about like a couple of things that I learned going through doing the vendor booths. Some I learned the easy way, some I learned the hard way. And I would say, first of all, is get to know your vendor host or the vendor coordinator, right? Because chances are they've seen a lot of really successful vendor booths, right? If they're a coordinator, they know what they're looking for in having a booth in their vendor. And that was a step that I never really thought of. I thought that my connection with them was just getting signed up and making sure I had a spot, and that was that. But what I learned moving forward was they had a ton of great suggestions, information. And the more that I talked to them and the more that I made my booth more attractive and attract more people, the more they were willing to give me the better spots at the next event, right? So there's definitely advantages there to doing that. And then just remembering that, like, look, I wrote down pages and pages of notes, right? Because I wanted to like be so helpful, and I'm throwing them away because the bottom line is it's about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, but just be yourself and have fun. Because the whole thing with vendor booths is attraction. You attract people to it, and there is ways to do that. But if you're not having fun, if you're not feeling comfortable and confident, then people aren't going to come to your booth, right? They're going to like, oh, that's kind of weird, and just kind of walk right on by. You know what I mean? So be yourself and have fun, and don't be married to the outcome. Don't go home at the end of the day and go, oh man, I didn't sell any ketones. I talked to a few people, but you know, and that's not a bad thing. Because what you did is you started building the relationships, making the connections, and planting the seeds to be able to have future conversations. And that's why I mean it's so exciting, because you're going to talk to new people. You're going to have new conversations. So how do you make your vendor booth attractive to other people, right? And so I've learned like a couple of do's and don'ts. And by all means, I'm not the expert, okay? I'm just sharing with you what I've stumbled through and went through, and what has kind of worked for me and what hasn't. So there are so many people in our community that you can reach out to. And you know what I even did today? I just Googled tips and tricks for having a successful vendor booth. And I got so many great ideas out of there. I'm like, oh, I never did that. Oh, I should try that. Oh, I never did that. So it's not as big and scary as what I thought it was in the beginning. But the attraction piece is really important. You want to seem like you're organized. You want to seem like you're fun. You want to have it decorated in a way that shows your personality and shows your brand, right? It's really important, I think, to have your company brand logo out there in several different places so that people know what you're from. I don't know if you can see right behind me. That's my little, and you don't have to do that. Right? That's my little banner thing. And that only came after doing some other, it's pretty cool though. I will have to say it is pretty cool. I'm proud of it. And we had a banner on the table. We had decoration, we had lights, we had all these great things that try to attract people. One of the biggest things that I learned early on in the vendor booth kind of class training that I took is that it's all about attraction and being welcoming and inviting. And one thing that somebody popped up to me in the training was, I had been setting up my tent at the vendor booth and putting a table in the front of the tent, and I stood behind the tent and I had my stuff sitting on the table, right? And I had decorations. I had this really cool banner thing behind me. I had all this really cool stuff. But it wasn't super inviting and welcoming. The one tip that they gave me, move your table to the back of your tent or along the sides of your tent so that you welcome people into your space and they feel more welcome. And I could not believe how much of a difference that made. So just little tips and tricks like that I've learned along the way. And another do was make sure that you're available. Make sure that you've got your beaming personality out there for people to see, and make sure that you're available. One of the gals that I did vendor booths with, she had a rule that if you had a booth in one of her events, you had to be available all the time. You couldn't sit down. Like if you were there, you were standing up and you were engaging with people. You want to avoid sitting down and seeming busy, like you're on your phone doing stuff or doing paperwork, because then people go, oh, she's busy right now, I don't want to bother her. And that's somebody that you missed having a conversation with, right? Same thing with eating. Like if you're like, oh, I'm starving, I've been here 4 hours, I haven't anything to eat, let me just eat something real quick. Oh, she's having her lunch break, I don't want to bother her. right? So my tip for that is, because if you're doing an all-day event, you're going to be hungry, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, right? Try to have some people there with you to help you, people that you know, like, and trust, people on your team that can cover while you go to the bathroom or while you eat or whatever, right? So that you always have somebody that's available. And greeting everybody that walks by. Hey, hi, how are you today? Even if they don't show any interest in walking your direction, trying to make eye contact with everybody that walks by and saying hi to them, because to you, it might seem pretty redundant. You might feel like you've said, hi, how are you today 1,000,000 times, but to that one person, they only heard you say it once, right? So just being very welcoming and inviting. One thing that I learned along the way as well, at first, I was just, there was a free for all, just trying to have all these different conversations with people, right? And then at the end of the day, I had no way to follow up. Like, I had no way to follow up with people. So, and this is one that I've used in the past, but I have changed it. So this has dual, actually more than dual purpose. So this is a way for me to follow up people. I make sure I got space on there to make notes, like a lady with the little dog that was so cute or whatever. So I have something to refer back to when I'm having a conversation with them later. But so like all that's on here is like their name, what the date of the event was. This one has a place for them to put a phone number, an email, and their Facebook name, and the best way to contact them. How do they prefer to be contacted? Since then, I've actually changed this, and I couldn't find a copy of it, to put like, how would I like to be contacted? And I give them a choice. Here's my phone, here's my email, here's my whatever, and they get to choose which way they want to put on there, because some people don't want you in their email, some people don't want you on their Facebook, some people don't want you texting them, some people would rather meet you at a coffee shop and have a conversation with you. Some people would rather invite a few friends over to their house and have you come over and share it with a bunch of them. Believe it or not, I got more KLPs out of vendor booths than anything else, because people don't have time right then and there to talk about it, right? And that's a perfect opportunity to offer to do that. Well, hey, if you got a couple of friends that you can get together, I'm happy to meet you anywhere. You can come to my place, we can go to a coffee shop, we can go to the park, wherever you want to go, and we can have a conversation. I can get all your questions answered for you, especially if you're busy. So it has a dual purpose. It's a way to be able to follow up. It's a way to give them options of, and oh, the other thing I like about this one though, it says, which benefits are you looking for? Check or circle all that apply, and it lists the different benefits that you get from ketones. So now you know that Betsy was at this event and she had the cute little dog and she's really interested in better sleep. So now you know what kind of conversations to have with her moving forward. You have some meat in your follow-up with them. So that's a really cool idea. There's so much more to vendoring and that kind of stuff, but these are just, a couple of the tips and tricks that I've like stumbled through finding. But I do believe that at the end of the day, don't be nervous. It's just look at it as an exciting way to have fun, meet new people, and have conversations. If you do the Rhino Tracker, man, at the end of the vendor event, you're filling out 4 of those things. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're having so many conversations and you've got follow-up conversations for days and days and days. And I say this, and like Jody was saying, we got so into, social media, so into the social media that I forget the connection part. And really it's a business, it's a people business about building relationships. People will listen to you, talk to you, try your product when they know, like, and trust you. And it's harder to get that on social media. It's easier to get that when you're standing at a vendor booth and people are walking, they're coming to you because that's what they're there for. It takes away the hard part, right? And it puts in the fun part. And then the work part is then just the follow-up and the conversations that you have. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got for now. I mean, I got tons and tons of notes if we want more time, but it's most about having fun, planting seeds, building relationships, and getting to know people.
Awesome. Lots of really great tips, Susan. Thank you so much. I would love to do a booth with you if you ever.
Oh man, that would be so fun.
Yeah. I love your energy. And then you could just go out and talk to everybody and I could just hide behind you. Like I did with Heather. So Heather and I just recently did a booth and it was my first one, Heather's first one. And I thought it went fabulous. We learned a lot. But I also learned how to find them. And I think that's powerful to know, like, they're not just going to fall in your lap, right? You're not just going to see a flyer tomorrow that says looking for vendors. So you have to go out and look for them. And there's a lot of farmers markets and fairs and like county fairs or state fairs, or every small town has their own event, whether that's like a big 4th of July bash or a parade, or there's so many different options out there. So what we did was we just started Googling vendor booth. It was the best word to Google, vendor booth, and then type in the name of your area. What I also found recently, though, was I found a Facebook group that was specific to in-person vendor events in the state of Oregon. So it's been fabulous. I also found a national one where people share all of their tips for vendor booths, and they're all constantly putting pictures up of their displays. And so I really want to start doing more of this. I got excited when Heather and I did it, because I didn't think it was something that I would be comfortable with, because I prefer to build online. I struggle in person, but what I found was that I was liking it. Like I was learning a new skill. Now, not the first day, but it took me a little bit to warm up, and I actually ended up enjoying it and was talking to a lot of people and just like developing this new skill and realizing that I can do it. Like it just built some confidence in me. So that was exciting. The last thing that we wanted to wrap the call up with, I don't even know what time it is. Oh, wait. Oh no, we started at 1:15. Okay, I was thinking we were coming up on an hour. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what I said was DMOs, daily method of operation. And what I have learned from it is it helps me be consistent. So I know that being consistent, meaning always showing up, always doing the things, whether that's going live every single day or whatever your goals are. I wanted to be consistent, but I would lose track of where I was. I would start on a task, and then pretty soon, oh, I need to go grab that contact information over on Facebook. And then I'm over in Facebook. Oh, I need to post in my group. And then I went to post in my group. Oh, so-and-so had a question. So then I'm answering their question, and I'm just literally running in circles, and then realizing that I'm not getting the things done that I need to get done. So something that's really helped me be consistent is a checklist. So every day or every morning, I visit my checklist, because there's some standard things that I want to do every day. Reach out to this many people. Make sure I post 3 stories on my Instagram. Have 2 promoter conversations. These are just some of the things that are on my list. Everyone's list is going to look a little bit different. And then, so I have it highlighted. It has, what's it called when you develop? Personal development is always the first thing that I do. And I have them color coded: personal development, action steps. And then I have also what I'm going to do for the day. So I will put specific things. So if there's a guest call, invite 10 people to the guest call. Like today we had this team meeting, and part of my DMO I added on there was prepare for the meeting tonight. So every day I'm going to be adding some things that aren't like a daily activity. And I use an app called, it's called Habity. And it has been super helpful for me, because I'm not running in circles. I'm revisiting it. I'm checking things off. All right, I got my TikTok post up. Did I get my Instagram post up? Did I go live today? Did I engage with followers? Okay, and then I always start my day off with gratitude. I list 5 things I am grateful for and the reason why I'm grateful for them. And as soon as I do that each day, I click it. And then I do what's called write to invite. I write about my day as if it already happened. So instead of journaling at night at the end of my day, I journal in the morning at the beginning of my day about what happened that day. That probably was really confusing. So for example, this morning I wrote in my journal, the team meeting went so well. We had a lot of people coming and participating and excited to be there. Even though the team meeting hadn't happened yet, I'm already writing about it. And I do that every single day. So I do my gratitude, I do my right to invite, then I do my N8 statement, marking it all off. Now, this is a new skill that I've been learning, is this little tracking app. I did it a long time ago and then I lost track of it and I just started it up a few weeks ago. But I can tell you right now that things are really starting to gain traction because I'm doing the things that are important rather than getting lost in the shuffle, which is what my brain was doing. I was actually doing nothing but running in circles and really not getting a whole lot done. So, and so I do goals and planning. I have my 30-minute walk on there and I do a little bit of manifesting. So then I have like follow up, customer care, and I set timers on these things. So if I'm going to do customer care, I'm setting literally like a 10-minute timer and just sending out 5 text messages that say, hey, just checking in on you, curious how things are going. And then I just kind of let it go. I also have every single day, if there's a new customer that shows up in the Pulse, I send them a message welcoming them to the community. So I just have these things that I do every single day, and then I'll add to it. And that's called my DMOs. So I hope that was helpful. It's really helped me be consistent because I know that that's the key to building this business is just being consistent, setting a goal, and your goals are going to look different as to like how many people you want to reach out to, how many customers you want to contact each day. I also have on here, I'm trying to think what else would be helpful, like trial pack follow-up. So did I have any trial packs go through yesterday? I need to contact them today and let them know that the trial packs are on the way. Yeah, so lots of different tasks on here. And then, like I said, I can add to it. I saw some questions in the chat, but let me go back to it and make sure I answered. But yes, I am a list person. And part of the reason is, and I don't think I've told you this, I have ADHD. And I literally get so sidetracked and so lost and just like out doing something that doesn't even matter so easily. So this has been really helpful for me. Exactly where I am running in circles. Yes. So Susan, I would recommend, I mean, because you're working full time, I would not make your list so overwhelming. I would maybe do like 5 to 8 things that you want to make sure to do every single day. And if I wake up at 4 in the morning, which I often do, I try to get as many of those things checked off as quickly as possible. So I can actually like have an enjoyable day. If I wait too long in the day, then I'm totally overwhelmed. So anyways, can you put your list in the chat? Yes, I can. Overwhelm is real. Yes. And if I can take it into bite-sized chunks and even like I've color-coded sections, so I don't see the whole list and get overwhelmed. I just do it one section at a time and feel like, oh my gosh, I can take a break. I like just accomplished so much. So let's go have another ketone or go do some laundry or whatever else I have going on in the day. So you need someone to color code your life. Yeah. I have a little bit of a green personality when it comes to that. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Jody and I talked also about having like a Q&A and sharing ideas, and we can wrap up this call, but let's spend about 5 minutes just answering questions or maybe sharing something that you did this week that you're celebrating or something that is working for you. Like you changed something up and something is working for you that you're excited about. So if you guys just want to come off mute, and my child's talking to me. Yes, you can say hi.
Hey everyone. I'm her son.
Your name's Samuel. Thank you, Sam. He's being awfully friendly tonight.
Hi, Sam.
Jody says hi.
Thanks for coming down and seeing us again so soon.
Okay, yeah.
How
Actually,
sweet that he wants to say hi. I love that. Like what teenage boy comes in and says hi.
I
gotta
know.
meet my mom's friends.
These are my friends. These are my peeps.
Keto friends.
No, they're actually just friends outside of keto even.
Why?
Amber, I should have said, somebody asked in the chat if I sample ketones at the vendor booths, and absolutely 100% sample the ketones. That was one of the things that I had in my notes, and I didn't talk about that. And then making sure that I have, you know, multiple price points. Like I'll always have a vendor only special today thing, and I'll do the 3, the 5, and the 10-day trial packs. And but absolutely, that's the best way to get a conversation started is by shaking some up and letting them try them.
Very true. That's what draws the people in. So what do you think he actually wants? Like, you know,
I was just gonna message you, like, he wants something, he's hungry, or like, mine came in and interrupted me and just stayed to the side asking me if I can make him French fries. So just saying.
Mine are all gone and they're not here to interrupt me, so I'm jealous.
I am going to be feeling that.
I
Okay.
just wanted to say what Susan shared. Susan, you really encouraged me. I want to sign up to do another vendor booth because I love that dynamic of just getting out and meeting people face to face. And honestly, like 2 years of focusing on online is like, for me, draining. I'm like Amber's opposite. It's so hard for me to engage with people online, and it feels like a struggle to be genuine and stuff, whereas face to face is like where I do my best. So I'm going to go sign up and find a vendor event to do in person because it just sounds like fun. So thank you for sharing your tips.
Let's do it, Katrina. Let's find like 3 or 4 this month.
I'd like to even do like some like a bar studio or like a CrossFit gym or something fun like that, where just to meet some new people in our area, because that was the most fun for me when we first started, when we had a huge community here really close by and we got together all the time. That's what energized me the most. You know what I mean? So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you,
connection totally puts the fun back into it. It's not like work. It's not like having to sit down and do your checklist of DMOs. It puts the fun back into it for me.
Honestly, and like my biggest struggle has just feeling like I can't be who I am on social media, like that people don't understand me, or that I don't know how to put into words, my personality and who I really am. And I feel like it's so much work. I see everyone else doing it. Like Amber does an amazing job of just being herself. And I struggle with it. Like, whereas if I'm in person, I'm not weird. I don't struggle with being myself. But something about being on social media is so hard for me. So I want to do more in-person stuff. And lately I've been having more conversations face-to-face with people just out and about. And that's where my new customers have come from this month. Even though I've signed up for vendor events online, like the majority of my new conversations are from in person. So I think you just have to do you, right? And be who you are. And if you excel in an area, it's like, go after it, do your best in that area. But I do want to push myself too for social media. I'm like always watching Amber and Jody.
Yeah, something I do on social media that you probably don't see is I'm having a lot of conversations that aren't necessarily ketone conversations, where I'm like building this relationship with people. And then maybe a year later, they start asking about ketones. And it's a lot of work because you may have a relationship with, or you may have known somebody for 15 years and they're ready to buy, but these people, like, I have to start from zero, like ground zero, to develop relationships. It's a lot harder to build online. It's a lot of work and it is exhausting and it takes up most of my day because I am trying to build relationships, not necessarily promote ketones or sell ketones. I'm putting that content up because I'm wanting them to see it, but I start with the relationship and make sure that I'm having a lot of conversations every single day and commenting on people's posts and going into messaging. Like today I saw somebody, they had dressed so cute, their family so cute for Memorial Day. And so I made sure to let them know that I thought it was so cute in messaging. So it's exhausting. It really is. I think I am really wanting to do more vendor booths, and I'm actually going to be in California for most of July. We're going to be in the LA area. So if you guys do something in July, let me know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Yes.
Yeah. All my
Get
kids
together.
are down there. So I'm like, Don, let's just go live down there in July. So what? Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or anything they want to add to the conversation? Don't be shy.
Well, I will just say that obviously I am new. And so my brother lives in California. So should I get to go to California, I'm going to need to look up Jody and Katrina. I haven't talked to you, but Jody. And so I'm super excited. And I found ketones through Amber. Again, watched her posts and stuff for the longest time. And just in comment to what you said, Amber, something I've been thinking about is as a Christian, so often people feel like there are people out there that are just like, oh, all you ever talk about is God. You're only ever inviting me to church, which is important. However, if all you ever do is invite somebody to church, then that's all they think you care about. So if you're just talking to them and just making connection to them and just befriending them for maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and then you can have a better relationship, and then you can introduce whatever else to them that you might want to. So, but anyway, I'm super excited to be a part of this team, and that's all. I talk a lot, but I'll be quiet now.
Well, introduce yourself. Not everybody knows you, and you're fabulous. We're super excited to have you part of the team.
Thank you. So my name is Michelle Ogilvy. I am from Southeast Missouri, but I currently live in Central Missouri. I am a finance manager of a finance company. I'm not married. I do not have any children by birth, but I have some adoptee children. I was a children's minister at my church for 15 years. And so I've adopted in a lot of kids and youth through that. I have been overweight my whole life, with the exception of a few years. And I just decided, you know what, it's time that I do something different. And it's time that I take care of myself and quit trying to worry about everybody else. And so here I am, and I'm just going to go for it with all I got. So short form.
I love it. And something that Michelle's doing really well, she put up her first post 2 days ago, and she is doing exactly the process of ACE. She attracted them in, took them to the DMs, let them know a little information, and then she's like connected, I think 7 people to me for me to share my story and my journey. Which is so exciting. That's the piece that's really hard for people to do, and it's so natural and easy for you to do. And I'm just excited to see where this is going to go for you. Yeah, it's super exciting. So thank you for sharing, Michelle. Anyone else want to share? Heather, do you want to share about your month? You had some exciting things happen.
Hi, I did actually. It's been a fun month. I'm Heather. I am also from Oregon, just down the road from Amber. And I too have dogs, Susan, so they're barking in the backyard. So Amber knows. So I have actually been drinking and sharing ketones for 6.5 years. So I have been around for a long time. I've been adopted onto this team by Jody, and I'm still working on Nick. So Amber, you can help me. Go tell Nick to switch Heather. I've been working on it forever. So I can't thank you guys enough for that. But it's been a great month. So I went to Vegas, and when I was in Vegas, I just decided right then and there, it just kind of hit me differently. Cause like I said, I've been around for a long time, to be more consistent, get out of my head and into my heart, because I am a green person. Everybody knows that. I'm an accountant by trade. And obviously a big heart. So I've always had that, but I wasn't as consistent. So this last month, I've actually had 2 new promoters this month. One was a gal I met on the plane to Vegas just by shaking up the ketones. And a new one just from the vendor booth that Amber and I did. So, and I hit MVP multiplier for first time in years. So it's been a fun month. So I've been excited, but I'm not going to stop. So Amber, you and I need to do more booths. So get those kids graduated. Okay. Don't hurry up. And Susan can come down and we'll have some fun. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a little crazy, but fun.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jody.
I was just gonna say, Heather, like something happens in your brain when you hit that. And so just be prepared, because once you hit it, your brain is like, oh wait, I can do this. And you're going to hit it again next month, and you're going to hit it again the next month. And I just saw this happen with Becca, Coach Becca, a couple months ago. Her and I, we don't benefit from each other. Becca and I, like, we're not in each other's business or downlines or anything. But her and I had a phone call, and she's like, I really want to hit multiplier. So we just kind of like, I cheered her on. We kind of did a little bit of coaching, and she hit it the first month, and she has not missed it since. And she hadn't hit it in like 2 years. So like, now that you know, like, you're at that activity and you're in that energy and frequency, like, your right to invite every morning should be how you feel, because you just hit multiplier again for the second month in a row. So like, just put that tip in your head, because it's crazy. Once you get there, it's like, it becomes that. So it's exciting.
I love it. Okay, does anyone else have anything they want to share? And Heather, by the way, I see you, like, this new energy in you in the last month. Like, you're just like on fire, lit up. There's just something different. And so it sounds like that happened in Vegas, and I'm just really excited for you. And actually, it kind of happened when you enrolled. Is it Ronnie? Is that her name? Yeah, because she is adding energy to you, and you guys are just like feeding off of each other. And I know they often say in this business, like, you're one person away from like changing everything. And I've seen that with you, just the energy you guys are bouncing off each other. It's exciting to see. So does anyone else have anything they want to share, or should we wrap up? Okay. Jody, did you have anything you want to end with? Are we good?
I was just thinking when you were saying that, like, that's another reason to do the reach outs about the opportunity, is because when you're doing this with somebody else that like you get energy from, or you like, you know, I know when Keisha finally joined me, like, we were friends before. It was fun to work together. When my sister joined me, like, it gives a different energy. So if that doesn't like light like something in you, even Heather, to text more people and say, hey, I've always wanted you to do this with me. We could have so much fun. Like, you know, have you seen what I'm doing? Have you heard of drinking ketones yet? And like, just putting that into your head that it is so much more fun. Like, it's so fun that I get to do this with Katrina, and we were friends, and we have a friendship, and we, you know what I mean? So like, yes, I just, when Amber said that, I was like, absolutely spot on. One new person coming in is amazing, but one person coming in who you actually like, you know, like even know, is really cool too. So just kind of makes me like, now I'm kind of inspired to reach out to more people too that I really want to do this with. I think would be really fun people.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks Susan. Thanks Allie. Thanks Jody. Well, thanks to everyone that shared. Lots of us did tonight, and I appreciate that. I learn a lot more from you than I do when I'm the one talking. I'm actually making bracelets for the boys. I made these like friendship bracelets, and I made them for my twins. And now I have all the boys at the high school asking, like, can I have one that's green and blue and yellow? I'm like, when did boys start wearing bracelets? I guess it's a thing now. So we're making friendship bracelets with charms on them, in case you were wondering what I was doing while I was talking. Anyways, thanks for hopping on, everybody. Oh, you have 3 new customers in Oregon. Oh, there's plenty of people here.
Like McMinnville, like all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, if I can get 1 or 2 of these going, I can come up and do a KLP. But it's like right around where Heather lives, and very close to where Mandy Mitchell lives, and very close to where you are, I think now, Amber. But it's
Well, good for you, because everybody in McMinnville just, I've known forever, and they're like, I'm still gonna work on them.
I don't even know her. It was a Facebook. It's so funny. Like, she found me on Facebook and asked me to email her. She's an older lady, and she bought a reboot, and that's all she bought. So now I'm thinking I need to mail her some ketones to ease in.
Yeah. I just signed up a new promoter, Karen. She's not on tonight, I don't think, unless she's Moto G stylist. I don't know. But she lives in McMinnville, and she's really excited and wanting to do some vendor booths. So that's another person.
Heather's like, that's it. I'm going out tomorrow in my shirt and getting the rest of it.
It's because I moved.
Oh,
I'm in McMinnville anymore.
right.
Now, Heather, you've got that third party validation though, because they're going to hear Jody's friend is drinking ketones. Oh no, now they're going to need it too. They're going to circle back to you. Just watch.
I gotta reach out.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Thanks everyone for being on and sharing. And I appreciate you guys, and have an awesome week. We'll see you next Tuesday.